4:42 a.m., April 2nd, 2025. The Red Sea slept beneath a canvas of stars. Then the silence shattered. From the rugged mountains of northern Yemen, 15 ballistic missiles erupted into the sky, their fiery trails slicing through the pre-dawn darkness, deadly arcs of destruction aimed at the USS Harry S. Truman, a 100,000-ton floating fortress, and a 13 billion symbol of American naval dominance. Moments later, over 20 drones launched from separate directions, speeding in low and fast, cloaked in deception, jamming frequencies and flooding radar screens with false targets. It was more than an attack. It was a coordinated ambush, a challenge, a direct strike at the heart of American presence in one of the world's most volatile waterways. Inside the Combat Information Center, alarms wailed. Red lighting bathed the steel walls. Dozens of erratic radar signatures appeared, each one a potential killer. Lieutenant Commander Brian Hawkins later said, "It was as if time stopped. 1 second we were monitoring shipping lanes. The next we were under siege. The first wave of drones wasn't meant to destroy, they were built to confuse, to blind." Jamming pods scrambled the Truman sensors, and for 18 excruciating seconds, the ship's phased array radar lost lock on the incoming missiles. 18 seconds is forever when warheads are screaming toward you at Mach 5. But the crew didn't hesitate. The destroyers USS Gravely and USS Mason, sailing in formation with the Truman, spun up their Aegis systems. Operators began manual tracking. Close-in weapons teams sprinted to battle stations. The Truman was awake and ready. One missile slipped through the outer net, flying just above the waves. It detonated off the starboard bow. The ship shook. No visible damage. But the impact wasn't physical, it was psychological. For the first time in decades, a US aircraft carrier had come under a full-spectrum assault. And the response, relentless, precise, immediate. Dozens of miles from the Truman's flanks, Gravely and Mason opened fire. SM-2 and SM-6 interceptors screamed skyward in staggered volleys. The contrails of American missiles twisted through the dawn like angry scars. 5 ballistic threats disintegrated mid-air, flashing into flame. But more came. Low-flying drones hugged the sea, evading radar. They were hunting blind spots. That's when the Truman's second layer of defense engaged evolved Sea Sparrow missiles. From vertical launch cells along the deck, the missiles rocketed upward, locked onto erratic drones and brought them down in fiery plumes. Still, one made it close, very close. A drone skimmed the surface, evading sensors, and surged toward the flight deck. But then the Sea-Ram, a close-in weapons system, nicknamed CIWS, came alive. A high-pitched mechanical scream tore through the night as thousands of tungsten shells ripped into the air. The drone exploded 400 yards from the ship, a fireball lighting up the sea. The blast wave slapped the hull, but the Truman endured. No casualties, no breach, no surrender. Below-deck sailors in fire-retardant gear stood at their posts, eyes glued to screens, hands poised, hearts racing. One officer described it later. It felt like chaos, but it wasn't. It was choreography. Every second counted. Every layer of defense executed perfectly. 30 hostile targets had converged on a single ship, and not one American life was lost. But this wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The enemy hadn't just launched missiles, they issued a message, "We can reach you." But the Truman Strike Group had its answer. "You will regret it." As ballistic missiles rained and jamming drones swarmed, US forces responded with silent precision. An E-2D Hawkeye soared, restoring radar clarity. Growler jets jammed enemy frequencies. Drones lost control, mid-air, falling like broken toys into the sea. Inside the war room, Rear Admiral Marcus Vance gave one word: retaliate. By afternoon, US cruise missiles obliterated launch sites, turning mountains and warehouses into ash. But America wasn't finished. Aboard the destroyers, a new war unfolded, not with missiles, but with pure signal. The ASL-Q-32 system jammed drone networks silently. For the first time in naval history, an entire drone swarm was neutralized without a shot fired. By April 4th, the skies were clear. No new launches. The Houthis went dark. Their systems shattered. Their message answered. And the world watched. How did a militia strike so hard? Who backed them? What happens next time when the threat is faster, smarter, state-sponsored? The Pentagon responded: train harder, evolve faster, strike first. Because one truth remains: you do not attack a US carrier and walk away untouched. As Admiral Vance declared, they hit us to make a point. We responded to remind the world we write the rules at sea. If stories like this matter to you, truth, power, protect the seas, then share this message, like, subscribe, and remember, freedom is never silent.